I did something impulsive. I've been really getting into collecting records recently. It's been a lot of fun. I finally got my first turntable, but also don't do it. It's such a rabbit hole and I am in too deep. I've warned you. But I remembered that Horizon did a printing for their Forbidden West soundtrack way back when. I think it was 2022 or 2023, pretty soon after the game released. And at the time I was like, wow, that's so pretty. Something I'm never gonna need or want because I don't have a turntable. Things have changed. Gonna give you the full cardboard ASMR experience. Fantasy. Yep, okay. Wow, all right, there she is. Goodbye. Yeah, the art actually looks really great. I think I was just expecting it to be a bit lower quality, but it looks awesome. Look at her. That's our Aloy. And we got the Tremor Tusk in the back with Sunwing. Yeah, all art that we've seen before, but it looks great in person. Yeah, let's open it up. I apologize in advance. I don't really have the best camera setup for this kind of angle, but I wanted to give a shot anyway, so here we are. This is a better look at the box itself. Again, the art actually looks really great on the outside. Much better than I was expecting. So I'm excited to take a look on the inside. Without further ado... Oh, wow. Okay, it's like full-on art prints. Nice. This is Subsnox, the Blight, and maybe like a proto version of the Bristleback? I don't really know what that's supposed to be, that machine right there, but cool. I didn't expect to get like big prints. Oh yes, okay, this is the platter for the turntable. I have an acrylic plate on mine, so I don't actually use this, but I will definitely keep it. That's cool. More prints. Oh no, these are the sleeves, aren't they? Okay, yeah. And there's one up here. I don't know if I can take it out of the box to show you guys. It's a print of the Bulwark, it looks like, Aloy riding up on it. So some really great concept art there. That's stunning. I'm going to put that up somewhere. Let me just put that away. All right, let's take a look at these sleeves. We got a beautiful render of the... Oh, it's thicker than I expected. Okay, of the Tremor Tusk. It's actually... I don't know what the right word for that is, like embossing maybe? It's sticking off the page a little bit. It's not just an art print. That is really cool. Is embossing the right word for that? I don't really know. Same thing with the Sunwing. Oh, wow. I hope it's catching the light in the right way in the camera here. Look at that. That's stunning. They did not need to go so hard on the packaging. Do we got, okay, so closer look at the model on the back. Not embossed, but that's obviously fine. Let me look at the Tremor Tusk. This is so cool. I get the packaging has been way better than I expected. Look at that. That is cool. All right, let's actually look at the records themselves. I'm excited. Okay, wait, no, hold on. We got more. I should have realized the inside of the sleeve. So we got this one isolated photo of just a rebel camp, and then this wide shot of the rebels prepping that Tremor Tusk for that fight in the Broken Sky. Very cool. Just because I don't have a ton of room, I'm going to take all of the contents of the sleeve out one by one just to show you guys, and then we'll take a look at the records themselves. We got the track list for the first 3 discs in this first sleeve right here, and the first disc itself. Okay, it looks like some Blight depicted on it. That's pretty darn neat, so I assume the disc on the inside is going to be red. Yep. Now, I've seen photos of these online, but never anything in person. And yeah, wow, that, let me put it on the white. You can see it's translucent. That is pretty, and does make you think of the Blight, doesn't it? It might be a little too out of focus to read, but disc 1 here's got some of the big heavy hitters of the whole soundtrack, which makes sense. You got Aloy's theme, In the Flood, World on Her Shoulders, No Footfalls to Follow starts off side B, which is awesome. Stones Unturned, yeah, there's some really, really great themes in this one, so this one might end up being the one that I spin the most. And yeah, it looks stunning. Let's look at the second one. Oh, wow, okay. Underwater scene, a lot less abstract than the other one. I thought they were gonna all just be mostly solid colors, but got some stealth kelp. Is that what it's called? That's pretty. So the disc's gonna be what, like blue-greeny? Oh, wow, yeah. That's so pretty. This is one of my favorite colors. Just this kind of like blue-green. Yeah, the Sunwing depicted on it. That is awesome. If I remember correctly, the second disc is more of like exploration themes. So on the side C, we got Shelter from the Storm starts it off, A Promise to Uphold, Edge of the Sundom. And side D starts with Rusted Sands, which is probably my favorite song on the entire soundtrack, which I'm going to be spinning that one. Let me tell you, In the Flood, Levise's version, and Resilience to Rise, some great ones on this one too. Starting on disc 3, we start to get more of the story themes. It's disc 3 all the way to 5. Oh, so this one's Zenith inspired. Look at that. Oh, that looks really good. Yeah, so this one we start to get some themes from Act 1 of the game. Let's take a look. Where's the opening? Is it going to be white? Oh, gold it looks like. Sorry, I'm having a hard time with this one. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that gives Zenith. If I've ever seen anything. Look at that. Yeah, so side E starts with All Fall Down. Yeah, story themes. In All Its Splendor is on that one. Underrated exploration track, one of my favorites. Side F, Commander's Orders, Storming the Gates, all that stuff that happens over in Barren Light. Good exploration tracks too, Embers in Our Wake and Dawn Eases Night. Good stuff. I love the Zenith theming. So far, the theming of all the records has been great too. Moving on to the next sleeve, can we just take a minute to appreciate that Sunwing? That is beautiful. Ah, my gosh. Really, really impressed with the quality of the packaging. Like, I did not expect that at all. Some Sunwing art on the inside, wonderful. And some more of Sunwings in San Francisco, yep. With the big horse in the background too, yeah. I love Horizon concept art, just always knocking it out of the park. Let's see if I can successfully grab this first disc. Got the track list for 4, 5, and 6. So yeah, 4 and 5, more story themes, and then 6, if I remember correctly, yeah, is a lot of combat stuff. So, okay, number 4, fitting, that's when you get into the clan lands. We got this awesome picture of the storm. Okay, yes, another orange-reddy one to kind of match the storm art. That's really cool. Hi, Hikaru. Hi, Katalo. Look at that. On side G, we got a lot of Utaru themes. Starts off with As Verdant Limbs Wither. Side H, some Tenakth, and also some of the Ostrom stuff in Vegas. Delver's Dream, Showtime. Oh, and the Quen themes when you meet Alva. Eye That Reveals, Every Secret and Maze. Those are good. And ends with The Way of the Desert, which is like the main Tenakth settlement theme that's burned in all our minds. Good stuff. Oh, yeah, this is the art in the middle of the Memorial Grove. You got the Grove in the middle, Sky Clan, Lowlands, and Desert. Very, very cool. The art, it's looked so great. I did not expect that at all. And so is the disc going to be blue? Yeah, blue to kind of match the martial colors. There we go. Look at that. The marbling, really, really neat. Less translucent on this one. And I absolutely love that one shot of Aloy leaning on her spear. This one's got a lot of the late game tracks. Side I starts with Eternal Conceit. Some of the tracks you get at Landfall over in San Fran. And it ends with Entombed, which I'm going to be spinning that just for Entombed. If you know, you know. And then side J, lots of endgame stuff. This place, this moment. Look Deeper, extended edition. I'm glad the extended edition is on the vinyl because it's like a 7-minute song and it is beautiful. One of my favorite scenes in the entire series, if not my favorite, actually. And the final disc is the combat stuff. So many bangers. And this feels appropriate for the machine combat disc. That's just cauldron imagery, which is so cool. It's gonna be purple? Okay, great. Gray makes sense. Got a photo of the Tremor Tusk fighting Aloy. Feels fitting. Like I said, bangers. Storm on the Rise, Coiled Strike, Ride the Edge, which is the one that plays during the Gauntlets, which is a lot of fun. And on the other side, Far From Rest, Pride of the Arena, Steal the Mind. Yeah, some really, really great combat tracks. I often spin these records when I'm like cooking or just hanging out. Not sure how often I'm gonna be playing these combat tracks just in the apartment, but you know what? It might go hard. I can't lie. Let's put this back. Just one last look at these 2 sleeves. I mean, come on. I hadn't seen any of the packaging beforehand. Like, I'd seen photos of the discs, but I am really, really impressed. This feels very high quality, and I mean, it's just, the art is gorgeous. So, yeah, And that is everything in the box. This is really special. If you follow me in any capacity, you know how much I love this soundtrack and what it means to me. And so having this physical representation now is so great. Again, at the end of the day, it's the music that matters, but the presentation here is just so strong. I mean, you saw the discs, the theming of each disc and sleeve, and also just the art prints inside. Unexpected, but very welcome. Yeah, I'm really glad I was able to pick this up. Future me popping in really quick. I've now listened to the soundtrack a couple times over. I'm happy to report it sounds great. There's just one thing I did want to mention. I didn't notice while I was unboxing, but there are a couple track omissions on the track list that kind of took me by surprise. Some big combat tracks and exploration tracks off the top of my head, like Built to Kill, Guardian of the Deep, that one really hurt. Second Chance, The Trail We Leave Behind, and a big one that I really would have loved to have on a disc is By Choice, By Fate. If you haven't listened to it, it's this big 7-minute piece that to me is kind of like a thesis statement of Forbidden West soundtrack, and it really represents Aloy's journey for me. It plays at times while exploring on a mount in different chunks just because the song is so long. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. It's great. By Choice, By Fate. But anyways, I wish the tracklist would have prioritized more of these repeated exploration and combat tracks, just because they're the tracks that we know as players more so than some of these one-off story beat moments that a lot of those are on the soundtrack. I love those too, but I just, some of my favorites just didn't make it on the track list. I just wanted to mention that really quick. This is also the first time I do this kind of video, so if you hated it, let me know. If not, if you have any feedback, I'd love to hear it. I have some other cool Horizon stuff that I've kept in its box that I would love to show you guys at some point. It is getting late. I am going to go pop Rusted Sands on. I think that's a good place to start and fall asleep to that. So thank you guys so much for watching. This was a blast and have a good one.